I'm Guennigsman, and I'm going to explain why stock prices change. So first off, how many of you ever invested in stocks or plan investing in stocks? There's only a few of you, but when you start planning for a term, a lot of you are going to put more money in stocks, and it's good to know why prices change and what you do to kind of plan for those changes. So first off, stocks change in price just like regular goods would. Supply and demand dictates when stock prices go up, when they go down. So when supply decreases or demand increases, prices are going to go up. When supply decreases or demand increases, they're going to go down. And it's kind of important to know which affects when and what you can do to better improve your planning so you don't buy one that are going to tank the next day. So what influences share supply and demand? News is one big thing that affects it. Good news about a company is going to help it. Bad news is going to drop price. Financial reports, when those are released, stock prices change quite a bit. And each investor's and seller's personal opinion is going to change how they affect, and that total sum of all investors is going to create a big effect on the market. So how news affects stock prices? Good news, it's going to make investors want to buy the stock, and sellers are going to hold on to it. That's going to keep the supply the same, and the demand's going to increase. So an example of this is last year, Barnes & Noble was rumored to have like half their company being bought out. So that drove the demand. I think it was like 2 stocks in one day it went up. And unfavorable news, that's going to make the price decrease because people are going to try to get rid of that stock before it ever gets worth the bad news. Example, this is Volkswagen, and last week they got busted by I think it was the EPA for rigging diesel emissions so they could get better mileage. And that kind of just huge fines are going to happen, so price went down their stuff. And the financial reports, when you don't meet the projections, your stock price will go down because it means you're performing worse than they thought you would. And when people bought it when they thought you'd be good, it's going to make your stock go down. You're not worth as much as people thought. Change from year to year, depending on what value changes. If its cost goes down, that's going to help you. But if income goes up, that's going to help you. But if it's the opposite change, that's going to hurt you. So this kind of changes from year to year will affect the stock price. And high projections for future earnings, that's going to help you. As long as you continue to meet those high projections, but you don't meet them, your pricing go down. And, how investors decide stock value. Personal judgment read stock, they look at the stock, they like the company, there's good people in charge, that's going to make the stock more valuable. Expectations for the future. If the company's expected to do well, that's going to help, but if they're expected to maybe go to bankruptcy, that's going to hurt. And last is the use of ratios by investors, and the main one is the price-earnings ratio. And the way it works is it calculates the average price of the stock per dollar of earnings. And the P/E ratio tells the investor how much he has to invest to get $1 of earnings of the company. And what a high P/E ratio indicates is either poor performance or high expectations. So even though the company might not be doing too well right now, if it has like a high expectation to do well in the future, maybe a big market share coming up, it could do well. But a low P/E indicates better performance because it's getting more earnings for less valued stock, or it can indicate the stock's undervalued or the company. And here's an example of Target's P/E ratio. So yesterday the share price is about $77.67 at market end, and the earnings per share for the first and second quarters this year were about $2.16. So if you usually divide the share price by the earnings per share, and that comes up about $36 per target for the first 2 quarters this year. And normally you want a stock to be under $20, but because this was for only half the year, their actual share price would be about, if they kept the same pace, it'd be about $17.90. So you kind of got to make sure you're also doing the right thing with the stock price or earnings per share price to make sure you're doing it for a full time period. And what you can then do with this P/E ratios, you can compare it to like Walmart or maybe Amazon and see who's doing better. And if one's higher than the other, you can kind of like reason why. Maybe Walmart has a higher P/E ratio because Target's better, or because they have more stores than Target. But you kind of got to reason like what's the main reason the difference is. So some of the key takeaways are just knowing stock prices are affected just as regular goods are. Supply and demand dictates when the price changes. Supply and demand are affected by news, financial reports, and investor judgment. And knowing why stock prices change is key to investing effectively.
Correct.